It's a hot summer's evening. I'm the only person who's seeing this work. I'm given a glass of beer and a cigarette, and the key to the garden shed at the bottom of my garden. It's a cold and damp November night. My twin baby sons and their friend Max are asleep upstairs, finally. Again, I'm the only witness to this work. She pulls at the metal rollover door. It screeches and clangs horribly as it opens. The streetlights briefly illuminate the interior. She beckons me in and bangs the door down again. Complete darkness.
The door to the garden studio is open but blocked by green net. I can see several layers of garden nets hanging in the space beyond, obscuring my view. The net nearest the door slowly rolls up, allowing us to enter the room. Another net blocks our way. At the very end of the room, beneath the window, is a huge mound of earth and plants. Kirsten is applying Winterline to the glass. Melanie removes all her clothes, burying them in the earth, and climbs out of the window. Kirsten finishes obscuring the glass. It has started to snow outside. Cass stops playing. The rolled up nets are hanging just above our heads. I examine the plastic bags and discover that floating in the water are pieces of bloody meat, brightly coloured buttons and toy soldiers.
I walk past the small Norman chapel, which isn't visible from the road because it's set back in a small hollow beside the railway bridge. I notice some activity in the grounds. There's a miniature replica of the chapel constructed out of shed materials. It makes me smile and stop and look. There's a large man wearing thick jumpers and walking boots, hunched over a small mirror-top table. I'm a bit mystified. I wander around the outside of the chapel. On a ledge, a wreath of daffodils and lilies. In the small ditch that outlines the building, there are more coins scattered. A woman approaches me, and she gives me a piece of paper. She says it's information about what's happening and that she's around if I have any questions.
Just by the way that we work, we make a lot of contact with people, either practically or by chance. We have to meet and converse with and get on with the people who own or are associated with the site that we're working in. And just by the virtue of the way that we work, we do a lot of shopping for materials and whatever. We have to go and meet people like builders or whatever and talk to them about how we could use a material, that kind of thing. And there are lots of really interesting conversations and interactions that happen by virtue of doing that. And in the past, that's just it's been a part of the process we enjoyed, but hasn't come to the forefront in terms of the finished work. What we want to do here is really take on the thing of the fact that we're visiting Hull. We're staying in a hotel and we're visiting a city that we don't know very well. And it's that process of visiting that we want to bring right to the forefront of the work, and especially the conversations that we have. And they're quite ad hoc. I mean, we're mapping our journeys through the city, and we're being very kind of disciplined about making sure that we cover as much of the city as we can. And we're following up leads, because as we meet people, they say, have you seen this, or have you been there, or this place is really interesting, or did you know about that? And we're recording all the conversations. Not tape recording them, we're recording them mentally and making notes.
But in tandem, we're recording.
But we're also,
we're recording.
That's right.
Yeah, but so getting back to the point that you're in tandem, we're recording for the first time something that's very important to both of us, which is phone calls home, and all those sort of details that are very personal, but in terms of our kids, our homes, what's going on, and actually acknowledging that that's part of the work.
Mm.
Well, I'm sorry, but as I was copying the list, I omitted quite a few items. I hope you don't mind. No bottle. I did consider sending a list of the things that have been crossed off. If this will be useful, please let me know. You may think some things you would have expected to be there are not, i.e. making the kids and Kath happy, holidays, etc. But all these things happen as a matter of course and will come to pass. You may also think that many things on it are simple, but they will have a direct effect on those I live with, i.e. Kath hates dogs and nudes. Carving something worthwhile takes practice and a lot of time. Parachuting is expensive. Some things must be done in the right way, or they will have no value, i.e. Kath would slap my face if I asked her, but happen in that way. You must think me pretty weird. I'm not honest. I have this awful habit of assuming everyone is like me, and must deep down have the same hopes, dreams and desires, but they are too afraid to admit to them. A lot of the excitement was to do with the way he gave it to us and the way that we met him and that whole relationship. So, I mean, out of context, it's not so important. What's interesting is that he's hidden it.
You didn't read the one... Did you... You missed a page. Oh no, did you read this one?
Yeah, I did.
We're helping him achieve, so maybe the thing is
To use that.
to use the categories.
Yeah, as defining those. It's opening it up too, isn't it? It's opening it up to other people, to giving space for other people to actually make their own connections. So that in using them and making them, available to the public, people might actually, with everything else that they're seeing and experiencing in the space, would actually, internally make connections for themselves, which would, for me, make sense in relation to what we're doing. It's like it's opening doors, small doors, for people to actually participate.